Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another installment of An Old Testament Academic Reacts. What you see on your screen is true. It's live. We are not interviewing. We are not having a weekly video, and there's no short. So what are we doing here this evening? Well, I thought I'd do a little something different. Starting, I guess, today, we've had some complications with the going live gaming stream in the past. I think a few weeks ago we had some problems, and today, or at least today, we were able to solve some of the issues and problems that we have been having. Weird to say, but so anyway, we solved the issues, and here it is. So why are we playing this? Well, for those of you who don't know, before I started to become a Bible scholar, I was actually going to enter the field of Egyptology. So I was actually going to go to the University of Memphis and study Egyptology, ancient Egypt, basically, before I did a career shift from Egyptology into Bible studies. So I was learning everything, the language, the history, the culture of ancient Egypt, or Pharaonic Egypt, if you will, until I actually switched over. So I just thought that I'd like to revisit that, and furthermore, the game itself, I used to play the old original game back in 1999. That's how old I am, and it was fantastic. I poured hours and hours into the original game. So when I found out that they were remaking it last year, I thought, well, I have to have this. So yeah, as you can see, I bought it, and I've already played a little bit of it to get the feel again of how the game works and plays. There are some different features in the game if you guys know it. If you don't, here's a brief description. Pharaoh: A New Era is a city building strategies game that takes you through the history of ancient Egypt from the pre-dynastic stage through Pharaonic stage, and I think until, or at least the original game did this, until the Greco-Roman age, the classical age. So with the original game, it was an expansion pack of Cleopatra, and in this one, I think it's added in. I think they added into it. So, yeah, that's the brief history of the game. But I just kind of wanted just to relive through it. So, here we go. Without further ado, let's just start it. Let's start a new game. We'll go ahead and hit play. And we will proceed. No, we're going to create a family. Sorry. We'll just, I don't know, we'll choose this guy here, I suppose. Not a big deal. I should enter family name. We'll call this Imhotep for obvious reasons. If you don't know your Mummy, the recent Mummy series or films, go watch them, because you should. I don't know what you're doing with your life if you haven't seen it. Fantastic 2. The third one was kind of weird, but the first two were fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So Imhotep is what we're gonna go with, and here we go. We're gonna create a family, choose it. Yep, we're gonna proceed, and we'll start a new campaign here. So here we go, campaign. So the game actually starts out in the pre-dynastic period, which is pretty interesting because during this time, there wasn't a lot going on. There were several cultural groups going on at this time in Egypt. And there were four major ones, although there were others. There were four major ones. You had the Nakadan phase, or culture group. Then you had the Bedarian phase, the Amratian phase, and the Gertsian phase. Those are different phases throughout the times. But the cultures themselves, we had the Nakada phase. I think those actually are indicative. I might be mixing up my cultures here, but there were four major ones. You had the Nakadan phase, the Merimdan phase, the Fayum phase, and the Bedarian ones. Those are the four different culture groups at the time. Nubt, right here, as you can see on the map, was around the on the Kenna bend of the Nile. It was just north of Nakada, or yeah, it was Nakada. And Nakada itself had three phases. So I think what the game was trying to do here is introduce you into the Nakadan phase, the Naqadan phase, if you want to know how that's spelled. And Nupt, which simply translates to gold or city of gold, is just to the north. So it's not quite Nakada, but it's just to the north of Nakada. So That's where they're gonna go start. So this is their introductory into the game. So they show you how to lay housing and how to feed them and water them, and that's all we're gonna do here. So we'll go ahead and hit play. The goal here is to have 6 meager shanties, and of course it gives you that's very simple. Those are very simple winning conditions, and you can't go into debt. That's a new feature they implemented. Well, you could go into debt in the original game, but I think it was a bit different. They implemented something new into the game. So anyway, here we go. Let's dive in. All right, and we're gonna hit play. Excellent.
Welcome to ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Here you'll participate in the history of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen. In an epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations.
Yeah, buddy.
You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond. Our story begins more than 5,000 years ago, along the banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nut. Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
All right, so winning conditions are 6 meager shanties. And again, this is the tutorial, if you will, introduction, tutorial, however you want to call it, into the game. So the mission is lost, of course, if your debt rises to negative 5,000 debens. So you got to keep a close eye on your treasury. What's interesting here is that debens is a unit of measurement. So they didn't have currency. Egypt didn't really have currency. There were no coins, I think, in the ancient world until the Lydian Empire, and that's according to Herodotus. In which he informs his readers, and us, that the Lydian Empire, the Lydians were the ones who invented coinage. So take that with what you will, because we all know it's Herodotus. So you either call him the father of history or the father of lies, depending on who you are. So anyway, humble beginnings here. The first things this village will need are housing, to provide settlers with a suitable place to live, and a network of roads, to allow its eventual inhabitants to find their way around easily and efficiently. Build areas of housing, and you'll soon see people move into the village. So, and I think it gives you, yeah, so it highlights it, and then we just lay it down like so, lay it down like so. Excellent, and right click, and then it should give you the road icon, which it does. We'll move over here because I can't see the whole thing. So we do that. And that. And there we go. So the path by which immigrants reach your city is known as the Kingdom Road. Migrants always need free passage from the Kingdom Road to the city's housing areas. And if you isolate a neighborhood from this vital link to the outside world, its homes will simply disappear. Now, this actually was part of the old game, if you will. So if you're playing the old game, nothing's changed so far, except for the... nothing's really changed in the game so far, from what I see, except the highlights, and they actually turned it into a tutorial. So I wish I had this 20 years ago when I first played the game, but evidently not. So anyway, getting back to the debens here and the unit of measurement. So the debens was the highest unit of measurement. So you also had oipe and hins, hin like a hin of oil, like in the Old Testament you've read about a hin of oil and so on and so forth. The next one was an oipe, and then the one above that was a deben. And they had different weights attached to them. So what I mean by that is that they were worth different. Their worth was different. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't English good. So we've got 100 people who moved into our village. Excellent, excellent. So we'll just wait here. I can't do anything yet. So that's how the Egyptians paid for things. They bartered stuff, at least at this time. So, yeah. Here we're just waiting for them to switch over to the granary, teach us how to feed them. We'll put up some hunting lodges soon, and a granary. We'll build a granary. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now. Here we are. So we have, to evolve their houses, your inhabitants will need basic access to water. Some well-placed wells will provide them with everything they need. Wells must also be built on land with underlying groundwater, as indicated by the presence of green grass growing, and provide water within a 2-tile radius of themselves. So, it's pretty easy. Wells here, you click here. The next one, the water supply, the greater wells, if you will, are better off. Those are the ones you'll be using quite a lot throughout the game. They provide better service, and they employ some of your citizens, so it gives them a job. So we'll wait for, well, the houses evolve, but I guess we gotta wait for some more people to move in. So, what's going on during this time? Well, Newt, again, we're in the pre-dynastic age of Egypt, so there's not really a lot going on. So we're in the age of before the pyramids are built, before the New Kingdom, before a Pharaoh is even there. There's no unification of Egypt, no unification of the Twin Kingdoms going on yet. You just have these different culture groups spread out across Egypt, and they're basically just surviving. And Nupt is an example, or is giving us an example of the Nakadan phase, even though it's not part of Nakada. So, they're just basically surviving at this point. So, that's all that's going on here. And I am not sure when the event will trigger, maybe at the end of the month, where the event will trigger that we can actually start feeding them. That would be fantastic if we could do it. Nope, didn't do it. So we're still gonna sit here and wait. I wonder how long we gotta wait. If you guys are curious, tonight's beer is Pilsner Urquell. It's Czech beer. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite beers. Along with Franziskaner, then I make the switch over to German beer, which is Franziskaner. Warsteiner's a good one. Yeah. So. Alright, finally, triggered. So, we got hunting. A growing population needs a reliable source of food and some means of storing and distributing it. The ostriches in this region can be hunted for game. You'll need hunting lodges for that, of course, and granaries then store game meat and other foods, while bazaars distribute the food to the village's inhabitants. So, right-click to continue. So, this highlights, and then we can build some hunting lodges. Again, they're gonna give us a place to put it. As with most working structures, oops, I messed up there. I meant to read that. Maybe we can go back in here. Granaries, here we are. So, granaries are somewhat undesirable. Okay, yeah, so hunters will now set out in search of prey, because I've just established them. If successful, they'll bring the carcasses back to the lodge to be butchered, after which a cart pusher will deliver them to the nearest granary for storage, which we're going to build now. Granaries are somewhat undesirable to leave nearby, but will need access to the workforce, so it's important to place them carefully. So, here we go. We'll just clear that, and then we'll get rid of that. Can I get rid of that, please? Can we get rid of that? No, we're not. There we go. It's like, come on. Game. And we put it here. City unemployment. We don't really have to worry about unemployment right now because it's the beginning of the game and they're just teaching us the basics. There's no point. So, while your hunters now deliver game to the meat granary, you still have no way to distribute it to your inhabitants. That's the job of the bazaar. The bazaar will send one of its workers to the granary to bring back food and will then send its distributor roaming the roads to deliver it to your neighborhood or to your citizens. So, here we'll just wait until they start bringing the meat back to be butchered, and then granary, and then there should be a trigger. Oh, it already did trigger. I was waiting for that trigger to set up a bazaar. So, sort of works like the agora in ancient Egypt, or in Greece, excuse me. So, it's sort of the marketplace, but they send a worker out. So, when trying to place building near a road, you'll see indicators with arrows. The green arrow shows where the building will spawn in its workers and where it will take deliveries of goods. The red arrow shows the point of return for distributors coming out of the building. Sometimes both points are on the same tile. The points might change when you build new roads next to existing buildings. And you can check them at any time simply hovering your cursor on the street if you want to inspect it. So it has you build it here. And then ambulomancy. Distributors of goods or services will roam the roads of your city for a period of time and then return to their building. See a typo there, they forgot the T. During their walk, if they reach a crossroad, they can take either direction to avoid distributors getting lost or going where you don't want them to. And so don't build a road network with too many intersections. This is also true for recruiters, so place your buildings accordingly. Recruiters we'll get to later in the game, so don't really worry about it. So there we go. We still can't use roadblocks thing. So anyway, getting back to Egypt here, this again is the Nakadan. The closest area would be Nakada. And, roadblocks. Finally we can build roadblocks. I don't think I need to go into this, because I think roadblocks are self-explanatory. But they control where your pedestrians walk, basically. So I'll put one here, if it will let me, and there. And then fire and collapse. To make sure Nuked sustains the tests of time, you need to make sure that the structures in the village do not catch fire or collapse on themselves. Not all buildings are prone to risks. The best way to tell if one will need to be visited by either an architect from an architect's post or a fire marshal from a firehouse is to click on it and open its panel info. Houses, for example, will catch fire if not attended to, but will never collapse on themselves, which is excellent. So, show me where to get them. Yeah, here we go. We got architect's post. I usually just put them here. And where's the other one? Fire. Yeah. So, access to clean water. This is what you wanted. Now that they have food, villagers need access to clean water from a water supply, which is much preferred over water from wells, and it covers more area, that's why. Water supplies must be built in grassy areas and also need access to employees, nearby housing. Once up and running, a water supply will dispatch a water carriage to deliver buckets of clean drinking water to all the houses in the immediate vicinity. So we're going to do that. Finally, that's open, and I just do it here. So, again, this is the Nakadan phase. In the pre-dynastic history part of Egypt, eventually this is where, around here, I think Thebes is to the south. Well, when it's eventually built, it'll be to the south. And it doesn't become the capital of Egypt until the Middle Kingdom with the 11th dynasty or dynasty of pharaohs after the first intermediate period, or the FIP. So, that's where the area of Egypt we're talking about, so it's Upper Egypt. So the Nakadan culture, or Nakada, is an Upper Egyptian culture. We actually have rocks on which we found writing, pictographic writing, for example, around there, in the area of Nupt and Nakada. So that's pretty cool. Nearby is Hierakonpolis, which is to the south, which is equally as old. I think it predates the Old Kingdom, like Nakada or this city here, Nupt. And yeah, it's pretty. We don't really know much about Nakada, is the thing, because it's so old. The further back in the record you go, the less we know about it. So that goes for the Fayum culture and the Merimdan cultures as well.
By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you have helped this fledgling civilization take its first step on the long road of history.
Woot! Excellent. So we go to the next one. And the next one should be, it's Thinis. Now this city, Thinis, is a bit tricky. I say that because it's a legendary city. We don't have any evidence, or archaeological evidence, of a city called Thinis that exists. I think it's only in the literary record that we have it, but no archaeological evidence. So we kind of think that it's a legendary city. But it's situated just north of Nupt, which again means City of Gold. Unfortunately, you don't get gold mines in that one, but you do in Thinis. Spoiler alert. So, in this one, we only need ordinary cottages, so you're elevating, you're getting up there, you're updating your homes, if you will. So, yeah. So, Thinis is it's a legendary city. We don't know if it actually existed or not. It's north of Nupt. Actually, the map in the game is actually rather accurate. I'm surprised at that. I was surprised at it 20 years ago when I played it, how accurate the map was. But Yeah. So again, I think they're trying to stick to the Nakaden culture here.
After many years and the passing of a generation, your family has resettled in the area of Inis, in Upper Egypt. Here, a small band of local rulers is attempting to extend its influence over Lower Egypt and all lands along the River Nile, and to unite this realm under its own house with one supreme leader.
Yeah.
Establishing Thinis as a thriving city like nothing ever seen before will prove the worthiness of the Thinite Confederacy and help them gain supremacy over Lower Egypt and the other factions vying for power. In time, this will mean providing the population with entertainment and building wonderful temples to worship the region's patron deity. To build a city this grand will require a substantial supply of cash. You'll find rich deposits of gold ore in Thinis, and harvesting them should be your first priority.
Alright, so the goal here is to have ordinary cottages. They also introduce a few more amenities, if you will, into the game. A few more things into the game. So we get new beginnings. Start to lay down your housing and provide your people with fresh water and food the same way you did in Noopt. Try to stay relatively close to those ore-bearing rocks in the northwest of the map, and you're going to need them to mine them. You can clear trees with the remove button, but these won't grow back. And in future missions, you'll have to make sure you won't need them before getting rid of them. And there are a couple missions I remember that you will actually need to avoid cutting down trees, so you have to build around them, because you'll need them as an export when you start trading. So here we go. I'll pause it here. I just remember this well about this map here. Again, Thinis was a legendary city, unfortunately. We actually don't... Some Egyptologists think the city existed, whilst some other ones say, no, it doesn't exist. It's, yeah. It's the stuff of legends, if you will. Oop, I need to get rid of that. When we get later on, I think the next map is Pharaoh, and that represents the Merimden culture group, because that's in the humid delta region of Egypt. So I think that represents the Merimden culture group there. Unfortunately, they don't go into the Fayum region for pre-dynastic Egypt, unfortunately, which would be so cool if they did, when they try to implement the different gods. Which I think in this map we are introduced to our first god. So that's pretty cool too. Let's see here. Can I do mines yet? No, I can't. Okay, so I'm just going to set it up now. There we go. We'll do the road here. Let's see here. I think that would work. All the way over. Yeah, that's what I want. So I'll do the water supply first. Yes. It's all coming back to me now. It's like a Celine Dion song. So we got this. We can do that. Boom. Then I'll put the housing down. So I'll put the housing here. Oh, come on. There we go. So we'll do this. For now, we'll put a roadblock here. And we'll put up some hunting lodges. We'll put them off. Since they like to stay away from them, here's what I'll do. I'll do that. Hunting lodges. We'll put 2. We'll put a granary. A little further away, maybe. And then we'll put the bazaar here. And then we cannot forget the firehouse and the architect's post. So we'll put the architect's post, firehouse, excellent. Excellent. And we'll let that play out. Now, oh wait. I do want a roadblock for this right now. Excellent. So, there's really not much to say in this map because we just know so very little. And we'll get to Hyricon Polis. I think that's later in the game, a couple of maps down the road here, pun intended. So I'll talk about Hierarchopolis or Hierarchonopolis, however you decide to pronounce that, in a... I don't know if we'll get to it this time around or what, but we will talk about Hierarchopolis, because there's a funny story attached to Hierarchopolis. It involves a potter. So, and I get to introduce you to the first god, if you will, or goddess. I'm just going to spoil it's a goddess in the game. So, yeah. Should be pretty darn cool. So yeah, right now, people moving in. We're just setting up the basics right now before we start mining that gold. We'll be mining gold here in a little bit. So usually what's going on right now in Egyptian history are these culture groups are starting now to survive more. They're starting to establish themselves and become sedentary. Before that, they were nomadic. So, yeah, speed management, I don't really care. It's up in the corner. It's pretty obvious. So these cultures used to be nomadic. And when they started coming together, like these different culture groups throughout Egypt, that's when they started to become sedentary, farming, hunting, and stuff, settling themselves near a river. In Egypt's case, it was a river. In Mesopotamia, they were rivers. You get the point. Civilizations seem to emerge around a river or rivers. So, can we do the gold yet? No, we can't. Dang it. So, that's what's going on here. Eventually, these culture groups reach gain a certain amount of territory, and then they start encroaching because they want more and more resources, more and more land. And that's where these different culture groups start warring with each other and vying for power, as the game told you. So, come on, game, let's trigger this. Okay, they're getting food. Can we get some gold going? Can we get some gold going? But anyway, so that's what's going on. So when it all was said and done, you had, the Merimdan, the Fayum, the Nakadan, and the Badarian culture groups. They only really allude to two here. The Nakadan and then the Merimdan up in the north in the delta, and those are really the only two culture groups that are left, I think. And then you get to Narmer, which they'll mention later in the game, and he's the one that actually unified most of Egypt, if not all, depending on, again, if you think Hor-Aha, who will be mentioned later, whose name means Horus contends or Horus fights. Narmer actually means catfish. Yeah. Lackluster name, and to be honest, it's not very warrior-like in my opinion, but that's Narmer's name, and he's the one, again, that united most, if not all, of Egypt. You get to Hor-Aha again, which means Horus contends. He's the one who's attributed to building the capital of Memphis, or Eneb-Hej, which is what it's called in Egyptian, and that becomes the administrative capital of Egypt. We'll get to that later as well, in a future map when we get to it, but it's either called Eneb-Hej or Mint-Nefer. So I'm still waiting for the gold to trigger. I guess it did or didn't. I don't know what else I need. Build housing to evolve. Okay, it just says build housing. Do I need to put more housing? I'll put more housing down. There, I guess. I don't know why this isn't triggering it. It should have triggered it. Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing something? No. I've got everything. Yep, granary. I've got a bazaar. So, by the time we get to the third dynasty, Egypt was fully unified. Actually, scratch that. Before we can get to the second dynasty, the first dynasty, it's pretty normal. There's unification. The culture groups are mingling. It's becoming a melting pot of Egyptian culture. That's the first dynasty. So we find archaeological evidence of these four major cultural groups in their respective areas. We don't have a lot of text because, well, especially in Lower Egypt, we don't have much of anything because the Delta just destroys it. The Delta just destroys everything. So we have a lot of stuff from Upper Egypt because it's a desert, and the desert preserves a lot of stuff, so it's not really a problem. I'm really concerned here why it hasn't triggered the gold yet. There we go. Managing your treasury. Finally! Each structure you place costs debens, not counting what you will spend to pay the workers' salaries. One way to make back the money is to mine gold. Place at least 2 gold mines near veins of ore so you can start production of this precious metal. Make sure they have access to the workforce, and do not forget to protect them against collapse risk. So, here's what we do. To do this, we're going to lay some roads down in here. Actually, what I like to do is to just go ahead and build the mines. There it is. So we lay them here. 2, 3. I just go ahead and I go nuts with it. Oh, can't do it, so there we go. And we will lay an architect's post and a fire in that same area at the palace. So gold needs a place, is a special resource that is stored in the palace. A unique building that also vaults the city's treasury. You can only build 1 palace, and it must be constructed on grassy area. Each gold carrier reaching your palace will add 100 deben to the city funds. With this regular income, you should not have to worry about debt. Absolutely. If you, future times, if you get gold, there will be several maps that include gold mines. One of the first things you should do after food and water is lay your gold mines, because that's the source of income. Plus your taxes. They'll introduce taxes later in the game too, though. But those are your 2 main sources of income. So we can build a palace now, which I think is here under services. There it is. And normally what I like to do is build it here. And then this, build a road to it. And we still haven't got the gods yet, so we'll wait for that later. So what's going to happen here is the guys down here, farmers overjoyed. That doesn't matter right now. We'll talk about the nilometer, which did exist in Egypt, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, there he goes carrying the deben off to the palace. Excellent. Excellent. So, what else? We got an extra road here in the middle of nowhere we can get rid of. There we go. So crime. With supply of cash in reserve, however, comes the risk of theft, as we all know. Constables from a police station can help reduce losses through theft, but by patrolling the streets to prevent crime and by subduing any criminals they encounter. The best way to prevent crime, though, is to keep your population happy with adequate food, healthcare, and jobs. And, you know, that's kind of relevant to today as well. You still can't totally get rid of this stuff, but to keep people happy and pleased, this is how you do it, you know. So, we'll right-click, and we should be able to build, yeah, there we are. So we'll go ahead and put this right here. We'll go ahead and put it right here. So, excellent. Now overlays, they introduce overlays, which are actually coming quite handy, I think. You can check your houses by clicking on them to see if there's a risk of crime, but sometimes you'll need to be able to see in one glance if there is a problem in the entire city. This is where overlays on the left bar will help you, located here. Try the crime overlay first and you'll be able to explore a few of them. So, they want you to... Yeah, where's the crime? There it is. And here's the crime overlay. Should be pretty good, because, you know, we do have an unemployment problem, but this is a tutorial. So, health and disease. Crime isn't the only challenge you will face. We'll get through this tutorial soon. We'll talk more about Egypt later. Right now it's extremely difficult because you got windows popping up all the time. Health can cause problems and decimate your citizens. I don't know if they're using that word correctly. Physicians patrolling your neighborhood will protect its inhabitants from diseases, and providing your population with food and fresh water will also reduce the risk of diseases. Other structures will help your citizens' health going forward. The apothecary will protect houses against malaria in cities and marshes nearby, for example. So, let's see if we can get out of this. There we go. So we should be able to build, yeah, as a physician. We're going to put that, where can we put that? Let's put that here. And we got to build a road. I like that. effect. Always kills me, that effect. Every time. So, yeah, I just wish we had a lot more archaeological evidence for this area and a lot more textual evidence, but unfortunately we really don't. So, religion! Yes! An Egyptian city cannot truly flourish without suitable places of worship in the form of religious temples and shrines dedicated to one of 5 gods. I really wish they added more gods, though, but they didn't. If the patron or patron god of Thinis is Bast, we actually don't know because the city's legendary. To appease the gods, build enough temples and shrines dedicated to each of them to serve your current population. A working temple sends a priest through nearby neighborhoods, so it employs people, and granting residents access to the worship of his god. In addition to their religious effect, shrines and temples also provide a good amount of desirability for houses nearby. Shrines can be built 1 tile away from roads and will still function properly. So, there's the example of the shrine, and you see the worker there. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to put up another, and get rid of this. And we're going to go here, and we're going to build a temple to Bast. Oop. Let's get rid of this. Let's back this up a bit to there, maybe. I don't know if that'll work. Please work. Yes. So there it is. Flat mode. So this is a new feature that they introduced into Pharaoh New Era. You have flat mode. Temples are tall buildings and tend to hide what's directly behind them. Over the course of the game, you'll get access to more structures that can have that effect. From courthouses to huge pyramids. This is where we meet one of your most important tools, the flat mode. So flat mode can be activated with a button located next to your minimap, or by simply pressing the F key. By default, it will flatten all built structures while allowing you to keep buildings new ones. So here's our temple to Bast, and if I can zoom in here, I think this is a cool feature in the game, is you get the Egyptian hieroglyphs here, and it's literally Bastet, or Bestet, or however you, whatever vowel you put in there, since we don't have the vowels, so we don't really know in it when we reconstructed the Egyptian language. But it's pretty cool here on the temples. Here you can see the hieroglyph for Bastet. So I just thought that was a nice little, neat little feature on them. So if you guys don't know who this goddess was, Bastet, or Bast for short, Bast was the goddess of the home and fertility. So it was pretty important to actually worship her. In the game, she's extremely important in the game because they want you to build 2 shrines. Okay. She's extremely important in the game because for reasons later we'll find out. There we are. We can finally build a festival square. Both patron or patron gods and local deities can become hostile if not shown the respect due their positions. First, you need to make sure you have enough temples and shrines for your current population. Patron gods will require twice the amount, and festivals are another way to appease the gods. So we had to build a festival square in the city to unlock the possibility of holding a festival, which is located under the religion tab again. And normally in the past, what I like to do is put it here. You can hold a festival, consult the overseer of the temple of the temples to determine the status of each of the gods in a particular city and whether the gods are sufficiently appeased. Lightning bolts indicate that the gods are feeling hostile towards your city, while a blue mystic symbol indicates that the god is feeling benevolent towards your city. The more you see of either, the more likely your city is to feel the god's presence, for good or for better or for worse. Of course, there are different overseers available and blah blah blah. So I don't know why this no workers. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of this here. We're gonna put this here and here. Maybe that'll work out. We do need to put, before I actually do a festival, I'm gonna need to do this and this, and then we click on it and click here. We can click Bast and hold the festival. There we go. Why not? Let's give her a lavish festival. We got a little money to spend. We can go ahead and order a larger festival. Hopefully that solves the gold problem here. Yeah, there they are. That was why I just had it blocked off there. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. Got the gold coming in. Good. We still need to upgrade here. I think they're going to introduce one more thing, which should be entertainment. here shortly. I think it comes after I do the festival square. Don't hold me to that, but I do think it's after the first festival. So, I do like this zoom-in feature, because I don't think we had that in the original game either. It's another added feature that they put in the mini-map. Oh, don't even get me started on the mini-map. Oh my word, that's just a godsend for the mini-map. I cannot explain to you in so little ways how awesome this mini-map is, because before you had to zoom around the map and find what you were looking for, especially when the maps get larger and larger. Saqqara, for example, was, oh dear lord, it was crazy. Saqqara was crazy. You get to Giza and it's even crazier, building the pyramids and the Sphinx. So anyway, here we are, entertainment. As your city becomes more advanced and some citizens can enjoy leisure time activities such as taking in a little entertainment, a wide assortment of entertainment is one of the hallmarks of a truly cultured city. But currently you can only provide entertainment in the form of jugglers. The juggler needs a venue in which to perform, the smallest of which is a booth. Build a booth on the corner of a road to stage juggling performances, and a juggler school nearby to train performers. Both need access to employee housing and enough workers to staff them. Jugglers, trained at the juggler school, will proceed to any nearby booth to put on shows, imparting a modest amount of entertainment to the surrounding area as they pass by. So, essentially, I'll have to move this police dude, the police guy here. Sorry, bro. Hate to do that to you. Where was that? We'll just move him down. And we will extend a road here a little bit. And we will do this. Whoops. No. There we are. There. And then we can do a juggler school. We can do that. We'll put it right over here. Okay, and then, yep, employed. And then you'll see someone, I don't even know where to point. But you'll see a walker on the road here. Yeah. So, just give it a minute. This should, this little animation here on the festival square is brand spanking new. And it's fabulous how they spruced it up a bit here. Absolutely, they just, I love the little animation. The little things they did to update the game are fabulous. Fabulous. I do hope, I wish against wish and hope against hope that they redo Rise of the Middle Kingdom and Zeus and Poseidon and its expansion pack, Poseidon. It would be great if they redid those. Absolutely. So, anyway, this should trigger it soon. Oh yeah, we still gotta reach ordinary cottages. Whoops. Let's see here. This one kind of until the desirability. So we gotta build shrines. Shrines actually. Oh wait. There it is. Success.
Excellent. You have built the first true city in this unforgiving land, providing for your citizens' corporal and spiritual needs, and have helped the Thinite Confederacy unify the divided land.
Alright, we'll just quickly go into the next mission, which is Perwajet. Perwajet is an example of the Merimdan culture in Lower Egypt. I can't show you right now, for reasons known to us. That is, I can't bring an image into the screen. Sorry. There's a mask. We got a famous mask. It's like a round, oval, circular-shaped mask that they found in the area. It's called the Merimdan Mask, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just an example of the culture, the pre-dynastic culture of the area. Now, Perwajet itself, I'll go ahead and click here and let the screen load. But Perwajet means the house of Wajet, or the house of Ujet. Ujet was a snake-like goddess that was worshipped in the area. And she becomes the snake. It's the same snake that you see on Egyptian crowns, like the Nemes crown, for example, or even the Hedjet or the Deshret crowns. and the snake there, will shoot it, and it's facing outwards. It's called the Ujet. So it's pretty cool. But that's where the Wajet part comes from. And Per in Egyptian means house, or the PR symbol. Maybe if I can find a way, I can show you guys what the Egyptian symbols are. Figured out the hieroglyphs are. Go ahead and hit play.
The Thinite nobles still struggle to unite the lands of the Nile under one supreme ruler. To aid them in their cause, it is hoped that you will endeavor to establish a thriving community at Perwajit, in the humid delta region of Lower Egypt, thus spreading their influence throughout the length of the sacred river.
Yes.
To support a population larger than that of a village, you must learn to use agriculture. Egyptian farmers have begun to exploit the rich, fertile soil deposited by the annual inundation of the Nile River for growing crops. The Nile can be hazardous, however. Many dangers lurk along its banks and in its waters, such as deadly crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
All right. So in this map, we've got to have a population of 610 modest homesteads. Excuse me. So here they're going to introduce floodplains, which is essential for feeding. So you get hunting lodges and you get floodplain farms, which is exactly what they did in Egypt. They had floodplain farms, so they'd flood, although they would use some sort of irrigation system, dig canals up and down through the floodplain to get them water. And that's how the farms worked in Egypt. And then the flood would come and redeposit the soil, and yeah. So, and that's how they got their food. So Egypt had, I think, 3 seasons. The Akhet. Oh my word, I'm forgetting this. You had the Akhet. You had the Shemu Akhet, and the Peret, I think, was the other one. So you had the planting season, the harvest season, and then the actual flood season. So yeah, the Akhet, the Shemu, and the Peret seasons in Egypt. And I'll go ahead and read this and then I'll get back into this. But to feed your people in Perwajit, you must build farms directly on the floodplain in order to gain the benefits of its increased fertility. Unlike most working structures, farms on the floodplain do not need direct access to employees, but do need a steady workforce of peasant laborers supplied by work camps to tend their fields. Build work camps fairly close to floodplain farms so peasants won't have to walk too far to reach them. Each year, the Nile floods its banks, replenishing the depleted soil on the floodplain with rich, fertile mud. Only fertile mud. Peasants harvest the annual crop just before the inundation. That's slightly incorrect. And deliver it to your granaries because there is only one harvest per year, but make sure your city has enough granaries to store a sufficient amount of food for your growing population. So, like I said, there are 3 seasons in the Egyptian calendar. You had the Akhet, the Shemu, and the Peret seasons. The harvesting, the planting, and the flood seasons. What is slightly incorrect here is that they weren't peasants but farmers, but you could make an argument, I think most Egyptologists would make an argument, that the Egyptians thought farmers were peasants. Spacebar, we'll go ahead and get this set it up. I can't English today. Normally this is how I do this, and we drag this down. Excellent. So we're gonna add this. We'll go out a little farther, and we'll go out to about right here. What I normally like to do in this situation is lay everything out before I actually put the houses down. So we'll go ahead and do this. Oh no, that. Sorry. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll do the water. Where's water? There it is. We'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and put the religion. So it should be Osiris. Osiris, it's kind of weird here. I think they get this incorrect with him. Hapi would have been the god, I think, to worship on the Nile, and not Osiris, who turned out to be god of the dead. We know he's god of the dead because he's painted in green because of the soil and stuff. So, and he's most of the time he's mummified, and he wears the Atef crown. So, but it's pretty cool. It's an introduction to Osiris, and again, I just love the small detail to this. You have the Egyptian word for Osir, which is transliterated, it's WSR, Osir, and it's Osiris. So that's the temple to Osiris. I will go ahead and start laying the houses down. I think I got really... Oh, the bazaar, but we'll get there in a second. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and lay out the floodplain farms now. That's a pretty good idea. Where do we want the road? We'll do here, I guess. And extend that out. Oh, wait. I forgot my fire post and our architect's posted firehouse. There we go. And we will put down the floodplain farms. Should be figs. It is, so figs. Yeah, so unfortunately during this time, or at least in Lower Egypt, which is where we are in Perwajet, the Nile is dangerous. Like he said, there's malaria. You had malaria going on. You had hippopotami. You had crocodiles. That whole thing, it made it very unpleasant. Let's just say that. So the Egyptians were, it was difficult in the Nile Delta, just so much as it was in Upper Egypt in the desert to the south. It was pretty crazy. So okay, we got our floodplain farms. We will add a granary. We'll put that about right here. And then I'll extend a road here because there's going to be a lot more stuff we're going to build later on. There. Oh yeah, I need a work camp. Duh. Do they have work camps? There should have been a work camp if I cannot find it. Oh, there it is. I was like, come on, there's a work camp. So we'll go ahead and put that there. So yeah, so this is the Merimden culture again. We have some archaeological evidence of the culture. Not a lot, because again, the further back in the record you go, the less you find. Absolutely, it's a beautiful game. So absolutely loved it. I played it back then too. I played it 20 years ago. Loved it. I love the update they did to it. The different animations and the overall gameplay is better. Oh, I forgot to hit that. Forgot to hit play. So the whole thing overall is absolutely fantastic. There are a couple of things that I'd complain about the game, which I wanted to see more gods than just the five major ones they have: Re or Ra, Osiris, Bast, and Seth. And I think I'm forgetting one. Let me look. No, not there. Come on, where is it? There it is. Ta or Petek in the Egyptian. That's one of my only complaints about it. There's no... They only list 5 gods, and you're just like, well, they were polytheistic. So, I mean, you do get oracles when you get to the temple complexes later in the game, but... Yeah, definitely. Beautiful game, though. Beautiful game. Okay, good. We got farming going on. Got 100 people. Absolutely. Oh, wait, I need to build a festival square. I forgot about that. So we'll do that. We'll go down here. Gotta appease the gods, bro. Gotta appease the gods. And hold a festival. We will do a lavish festival. I'll show you an example here of of one of these animations when the festival shows up. I don't know if you played the original game though. If you did, that's 2 points to Ravenclaw for you. Because the original game was fantastic too. It was just outdated. Yeah. Okay, so you got... Okay, so you know. Like the clouds. The clouds, like... The clouds thing... You see that cloud going over the city right now. You didn't have that. It was just sun. That was it. Just the sun. Nothing else. So... Definitely... Oh yeah, I forgot to build a juggler school here. You just go for it. I think that comes later in the game. There it is. The animation for the festival. That wasn't... It was different. You just had... In the original game, they were just kind of wandering around on the square. now they've got, you know, the streamers, they've got some sort of covering, and you got dancers and musicians, and it's pretty cool. But to answer your question, I don't think you just dive right into it. There's no skill you learn or anything, which would have been cool, but yeah, no. So, right now we're just waiting for the figs to come in. I could probably delete that road there. So, I think, honestly though, I think they did a good job trying to talk about the cultures in pre-dynastic Egypt. Again, this is the Merimden culture group here in the Delta. They don't actually say it, they just call it Per Wadjet, which is House of Wadjet, which Wadjet was an Egyptian goddess, a snake goddess. So, a snake, well, she had the head of a snake, that's why I say that. Oh yeah, that's right. Because we were having difficulty. It took us, what, 3 weeks to get this going? I want to say at least 3. And we're having trouble tonight again, but got it to work. We found out that our upload speeds weren't what they should be, so we were paying for, like, less upload speeds that we had. So we called them, they came out, told us what the problem was. It was on our side, not theirs. And so we actually found out some sort of bottlenecking going on, but we all got it figured out and everything. So malaria here, yes, they do. They take like huge amounts of granite, sandstone and limestone, and then you have to worry about burial provisions. So you need beer, you need so much beer, so much linen, and wood. For some reason, I think one of them wanted wood. I don't know what you're going to do with that. But, yeah. So, malaria, though, here is most prevalent close to water and marshlands. I think we all know that anyway. The malaria overlay shows which houses are more likely to succumb to this illness. Access to clean water from a water supply and insect repellent provided by a local apothecary, there you go, both greatly reduce the risk of malaria for any given household. Like most buildings, the apothecary only functions when it has road access. So now we got access to a new building, the apothecary. Oh wait, that reminds me, I don't have a physician. Yikes. There we go. Put another architect's post and a firehouse. So I'll just go ahead and repeat here since you guys weren't here at the beginning. So, what's going on here is the game's introducing you to the Egyptian pre-dynastic phase, and there were 4 major cultural groups at the time. You have this one, the Merimden. In the first mission was Nupt, which means City of Gold, and that was just north of Nakada in Upper Egypt, so to the south. That was one. So, and Fayum, and then the Badarian culture. Now, they leave out the Fayum culture and the Badarian culture, but they do, at least with this city, and then Nupt, they introduce you to the Merimden and the Nakadan culture. There was a mission in here. If you go, after this is done and everything, you guys go back and if you want to rewatch it. Thinis, there's a map called Thinis. And Thinis, we don't know if it existed or not, but they put it in the game anyway. Egyptologists think the city, it's a legendary city because we just don't have any archaeological evidence for the city. So I just thought it was funny that they included it in the game. So they probably just needed to fill some space, I don't know. But definitely, so we are still waiting for food. We might have to, I gotta do another festival here. We'll do another lavish one to keep the gods happy. Oh, another incorrect thing here is Osiris worship. That was another thing that bugged me about the game then and now. Is Osiris isn't... He's god of the Nile, but you didn't worship him or pray to him to have a flood. No, Tanis is... So Tanis is in Lower Egypt, so it's north in the Delta, and Thinis, if we do find it, we expect to find it in Upper Egypt to the south in the desert, towards Thebes. So, no, Tanis, and we actually have archaeological evidence, as you guys know, of Tanis, of course. And of course, the famous scene in Indiana Jones, Tanis, where they thought the Ark of the Covenant was. So, yay, we get a free, well, depending on, we get a blessed inundation this time. But anyway, you would actually pray to the god Hapi, or Happy, I think, for a good Nile. A good flood of the Nile. So, I think that was a bit of an inconsistency. They also mentioned that peasants work the farms instead of actual farmers. But the Egyptians may have thought as farmers as actual peasants, so if that's their argument, I can see it. So, yeah. Yeah, we're just waiting around for food here now. I don't think there was a flood this time, or is there no worker access again? That's why. Did I put a... Let me see here. I'm not sure... Might need to put some houses down here so they actually have access. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's interesting. So I put some houses there. I can't do what I want to do as far as a layout of a city yet because we're still in the tutorial phase of the game. There we are. Now we got some employees back. And they, for the most part, the game's the same. There are some features that are different. I'm trying to think of one that they include. Oh yeah, the flat mode. They included a flat mode in the game, and it's for monument building. So if the terrain's hilly, or if there's rocks or a tree or whatever, instead of using the X button here in the top right, you see that X button. Instead of using that, you can use the flat mode, and it'll flatten the land and get rid of any unwanted things in that, and then you can lay your monument. That's one thing they did differently. Again, you got the animations here, the Festival Square again. That's different. The pictures are different. Of course, it's an update. Of course, they change stuff like that. I get that. But, yeah. So, we need 10 modest homesteads and a population of 600. Now, that'll come when the food comes in. And they should be introducing another feature of the game here too in this level. I'm not worried about unemployment because I will later in the game when you worry about unemployment because it'll tick the people off. Like, let me see here. No, that's not what I wanted. Where was it? Here. Oh, it says they're pleased with me. Oh, that's a good question. Anything about the older one that is better than the new one? It's a good question. I would have to say I really think this is better, just all around. All around, I really haven't given it much thought. I've just been so flabbergasted and in awe of the new one that I really haven't had time to think about it. But, the one thing I haven't seen yet is the old one. They had, now it's coming to my mind. The old one, they had the monument speed up. They had a button where you could speed up the monument. I don't know if that's in options. I don't even think I have that under options. Do they have that? I haven't seen it. Maybe I missed it now that I mention it. But they had a monument speed up because some of these pyramids take forever to build. So, you know, the step pyramid and then the first true pyramid, you know, Sneferu built like 4 pyramids. You don't have to build 4 pyramids in one map, but I'm just saying, when you build the pyramid, it takes forever to construct. And they had this feature in there that sped it up, because it would take forever, you know? I haven't seen that, but now that you see that, you have to see it through the, yeah, and I don't see it. I don't see it. So that's one thing I liked about the older one. Maybe it's under graphics. No, it wouldn't be under graphics. Audio, key binding. No, it wouldn't be under that. Notifications. Yeah, no. I'm not seeing it. So there you go. That's one. I wish they had that. So, it's a good question. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, in a patch or something. Maybe. I mean, the game's only been out since February of this year, so... Oh, another one now that comes to mind is the military. So in like 3 or 4 maps away, they introduce you to the military aspect of it. And instead of actually fighting, like sending your troops out, they just have a screen. A screen will pop up saying invaders are here, and then you see this little animation in the screen, the troops, you know, coming together, and you'll see the archers shoot, but you don't have any direct control over it. So that's another thing I kind of liked about the old one. A lot of people complained about that who played the game as well 20 years ago. They complained about that as well. So I need another festival. We'll do another lavish one. We got money. Live a little. So probably can build a new yeah, we'll do this. And we'll put up a shrine. Where's the shrine? There's a shrine. So we gotta keep him happy. So if Osiris gets angry in this game, he just doesn't send floods. He just starves you. Each god has its own special thing. Like, the god will bless you a certain way, and he'll punish you a certain way if you don't give him the worship he so desires. So, yeah. I really wish they included Phiam, though, at the beginning, because I thought it would have been cool. See, that would have been a new map, I think, is including the Phiam region, and introducing another god, like Sobek, the crocodile god. Sorry, not a goddess, but a god. Stuff like that. I just wish they had more gods. So. Alright, the floods receded. And the festival should be nearing its end. So we're doing pretty good. Do I not have a bazaar? I do not have a bazaar. That's why no one's getting food. I swear I'm much better playing this game than... There we go. Hey, Jack! What's going on? Saturday night. That was red. Oh my word. No wonder why they weren't evolving. I forgot to put a bazaar down. Oh man. There we go. Excellent. Gonna have a good inundation again this year. There they are. Now the houses are evolving. Don't think we'll make it this round. We might take a next round before. So yeah. I think the next map though is Hyrconpolis or Hyrcanopolis, which is the funny story attached to it. It's a really funny story. We'll talk about it when we get there. That's in Upper Egypt to the south, the city. Yeah, unemployment, blah blah blah. So they need, what do they need now? Desirability. Don't think I can. Shrines do have an effect like that. Here we are, industry. There it is. So now that you've given your city basic food and water, you can enhance their lifestyle with goods, such as pottery. So you can build a clay pit close to water and a potter nearby, but make sure these have access to labor as usual, and before long a cart will deliver clay to the potter, who will create pottery for your city. Build a storage yard to store the final product, as well as any excess clay the potter does not need. 3 clay pits can usually supply enough clay for 4 potters. It used to be 1 clay pit per 2 potters, so this is a bit different, but it's not that serious of a difference. Workers from the bazaar will collect the pottery from the storage yard and distribute it just as they do food. And industries like pottery also provide your city's inhabitants with much needed jobs. So, usually it should be under production. Yeah, there it is. Clay pit. And we can nestle that about right here. And then we can do the potter. Whoops, it's not under production. Should be here. It's under production, but do this, do this. So, and then we need a storage yard. Oops, we'll get to that in a second. Storage yard. I usually do 2 because it creates jobs. One for clay and the other one for pottery. So, there we go. Got 1. Accept all. I think, was this? No, it's the other one. Okay. Accept none, and then clay, accept all. There we go. So, and then you'll see them, you know, animations again, letting you know if there are workers there or not. So, oh, need another festival. Lavish. There we go. So as long as you worship the gods, of course, it's common sense. If you worship the gods, then they bless your city and whatnot. So I don't know if some of you guys were here when I said this. I still love this feature too. You scroll in. If you can see on the temple here, move the cursor away, you can see the hieroglyphs there, and that is actually the hieroglyphs for the god Osiris in Egyptian. That's actually correct. They had it on Bast in the previous map, and I just thought it was a cool added detail in the game. So, the zoom in feature is something I absolutely like. They didn't have, and the mini-maps, mwah, chef's kiss, because you had to look all over the map to find out what you were. And if your cities get big later on in the game, they get huge. And the mini-map is something that they didn't have in the original that they have here. So it's pretty good. It looks like we got some desirability problems. Yeah. Housing can't evolve because of desirability. So, yeah. Just waiting for the food to come in. And that should... I might need another granary because that looks like it's going to be a lot. Put one there. We'll do that. So... I didn't want to play the game on hard. Like, it takes you through pre-dynastic Egypt, which is where we are now. And then it takes you through the Old Kingdom. I think it takes you through the intermediate periods. And then the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom. All the way through the classical period, so Greco-Roman. Which in the old game you had to purchase the extended DLC, which was just it was an add-on. It wasn't called DLC then, because you didn't download it, because you didn't have that aspect in the late 90s and early 2000s. But you had to buy the extension. It was called Cleopatra. But it extends throughout the whole of Pharaonic Egypt. That's how it does. How fast does it go? It depends. There are different levels or speeds here up at the top left. I'm sure you saw that. You go from like ×1 to normal, that, and then up to this, and you keep clicking that to get to 5. So that's how fast the in-game here goes. But as far as years, it goes the length of Pharaonic history as a whole, I think. Yes, you will. I have faith in you. You will. So, beautification, since we've had problems with desirability. So you've got some industry up and running, and now you can think about making a few improvements to your city. Beautification can be used to make some neighborhoods more desirable. By making the areas surrounding them more attractive, gardens, statues, and plazas can help houses evolve. Several garden plots can be placed next to each other to form larger parks, which was a cool feature they had in the old one too. I'll show you here in a minute. But their appearance will be random. Place plazas on paved roads to enhance their appearance and improve the desirability of nearby land. You can rotate statues, like most buildings, using the R key, and if you'd rather choose which garden you want to replace, akin to statues, you can switch between the two systems in the options. So, with the, it's right down here, it's the last one. There are all these different sizes statues. You got small, medium, and large size statues. You've got plazas here, which, you know, boom, you just put them on the street. And you can do this, and they won't. There you go. It'll convert over. For the see the gardens, like you put like 4 of them together, and it creates a larger garden. I'm actually going to delete some because I didn't mean to put that many. There we go. And then we can do plazas, which cover the streets. Entertainment coverage. Oh, yes, yes. Okay. So the entertainment required to evolve houses gets higher and higher. In addition of the score provided by the visit of a juggler and later other entertainers, we'll get to those I think in the next one. Houses also get bonus points depending on their general coverage. You can check the entertainment coverage and overseer of diversions. A booth providing a perfect coverage for 600 people. You might find yourself in situations where a juggler from a single booth passes by houses accommodating way more people than that. Placing other booths will help improve the coverage and provide more bonus points to all houses in your city. Sometimes it's just what they need to evolve. Coverage from entertainment, education, religion, and health all count towards your culture score in later missions when a high culture score is required to win. It's important to check their respective overseers to keep what your city is lacking. So what they mean is the larger your city gets, the more booths and the more entertainment is going to be required. It's pretty common sense, I guess. But I was going to put down plazas. I don't think I did them all. Yeah. So there's that. Boom. There we go. Now they're evolving. Do we have 10? Oh, we need, probably need some more houses. How many more people? So, the culture thing, where was it? Ratings? Yeah, ratings. So you get a ratings overseer, which, by the way, did not exist in Egypt because they didn't worry about ratings like that. Kingdom rating, culture rating, it's 10. Prosperity and monument. That's what they were talking about. Culture score. So if you entertainment, increases culture scores. Trade comes later. That'll affect your kingdom score. Monument's pretty obvious. And prosperity's pretty obvious. So, yeah. Wonder how many people we can hold. That one you find under... Where's the guy? Here he is. House of the Granaries. Can hold 85 more people. So I'm going to need to build more houses here. Build. We'll just do that, see if we can end the game. And I'll probably have to build more farms. So we'll go ahead and add a couple more farms. There we go. And we'll add another festival in just for good measure. So, yeah. So this is the game. It goes through map after map after map. And with each map you progress through Egyptian history. I think we all knew that. But, now we got 500, so we just need 100 more here. But you go through each map or each city discusses or reveals a certain amount of Egyptian history. And again, right now we're just in the pre-dynastic era, so there's not a lot going on right now, besides those 4 culture groups. And we don't really have much to go on. So, it's funny because Falk isn't really into... I find it funny because Falk has never been into pyramids. He's into New Kingdom stuff, and of course, you know, his thesis was on ritualistic furniture. So, but I always found it funny he was never into pyramids, and I can see why. It's always Egypt. When people bring up Egypt, the first thing their minds go to is pyramids. The Giza pyramids. It's always the Giza pyramids. It's like, we're not going to talk about the other pyramids. We're just going to talk about Giza. Necherket or Djoser's step pyramid, some people may know. But no one really talks about the 7 sun temples that we have in Egypt. I think we've discovered 7 so far. And no one really wants to talk about the Middle Kingdom. So... Oh! So, yeah, so the completion aspect of the game. You mean for this map, which just happened?
Your own citizens are beginning to look to you as their caretaker, and neighboring cities also hail you as a provider in times of need.
Alright. Okay. So... Okay, Nechen, yeah. Nechen is Hierarchon but anyway. So each map you have certain conditions you have to meet in order to win that map. So each map takes you through Egyptian history. And as you go through Egyptian history, well, I shouldn't say that. So yeah, each map takes you through Egyptian history, and when you complete the game is when, in the classical Greco-Roman period, is the end of it. So if you complete, that's the end of the game, is the Greco-Roman period, which would have been the Cleopatra expansion 20 years ago, but I think they just included it in the game. So that's how you complete the game, as like 100% it. The completionist. When you complete the game, you've gone through every map chronologically. So yeah, me too. I'm the same way. I love texts. Absolutely. I want to read. I'd rather read the texts. One of the accounts that one of the things, the contendings of Horus and Seth, which we think, Egyptologists think that story, that account, the contendings of Horus and Seth, reflects a civil war in the second dynasty, which I'll talk about later. We won't get it tonight because that's too far. And I've been recording for an hour and a half, or I've been live for an hour and a half. I was going to wrap it up after this one. But, yeah, so you had this account called the contendings of, I'll just get in here. But, they're called Contendings of Horus and Seth, and it's that famous battle that I'm sure that you guys know between Horus and Seth, or between Osiris and Seth. You know, Seth kills Osiris, makes this coffin for him that fits his measurements exactly, and when he fits inside, slams the lid, sends him up and down the Nile, sends him away. And then, what is it? Did he cut him up into 14? I think he cut him into 14 pieces. And then he scattered them throughout Egypt, and Isis finds each and every piece, except for, the male part, I won't say here, and using some magical incantations, I guess, copulates or whatever, and then out comes Horus, and then Horus avenges his father. But it does take forever. The game, definitely, it takes a while. The tutorial missions are really fast. I've gone all the way to Nechen in an hour and a half, which is pretty fast for tutorial. But this will be the last one I do tonight, because it's getting late here. So
As the people who live along the Nile still struggle to survive in this harsh environment, a local king named Narmer has risen to power. Though Narmer has dominion over much of this land, full unification of the twin kingdoms has yet to be achieved. In commemoration of his accession, Narmer wishes your family to establish and govern a new city at Nechen. This city will have temples to many of the gods of Egypt and numerous places of entertainment.
Alright, so we need a population. No problem, Cooley. Okay, bud. You have a good night. You have a good night. So the winning conditions here are 1,000 people and 10 modest homes. So before I get in here, the funny story. Oh, I hope he gets to hear this before he leaves. So the funny story with this is we uncovered a house and a potter, right? And this guy built his house right next to a pot, right next to his place of business. Makes sense. He just wakes up and goes next door and starts working. In the kiln. Well, the winds changed one day, and I guess it burnt down his potter. It burnt the first kiln down, I think. So he had to rebuild his kiln, but he tried to get smart, so he built it a distance off, but he forgot to. So he builds that, and then the winds change again, and it burns down his actual house. So and I think it burned down his potter's house again. So, but it was funny because he moved it, and the winds changed, and it still burnt down his place of business. But that happened right here in Nechen, which is the Egyptian name for it, and Hierkonpolis is the Greek name for it. I prefer to use the Egyptian terms because this is an Egyptian game, after all. This is ancient Egypt, so yeah, so this is the first map that they introduced multiple gods. So the patron god of this region is Ra, or Re, but also Osiris and Bast, or Bast, are also worshipped here as local deities. So you have to, but there's one city, but the patron god is Re, so we have to build more temples and give more festivals to Ra or Re than the other ones. But we can't neglect the other ones because they can damage our city as well. They punish you differently. Like, Re will damage your kingdom rating that I showed you in the previous map. Bast will destroy houses, I think. I've never actually ticked her off. And Re destroys your kingdom rating. So that comes in handy when you want to trade, because that affects trade. So you don't want to tick him off either. So first off, we're gonna get rid of these trees, as I always do here. And this is the first time I actually get to use a standard thing when I build cities. I have a layout that I use over and over and over again. It makes it easy. So, 1, 2, so I'm gonna get technical here. 5, 6, 17. There we go. I think it's 7, and then up. Yeah. You know, no, it was definitely funny. No lies detected there. Yeah, it's gonna, yeah. So I first heard it, I was in tears. I was like, that's unfortunate for him, but funny for us, you know? There we go. Then we do that. So this sounds funny, but so what's going on here is, I forgot to zoom out. That looks better. And then we build roadblocks. Yeah, I'll get these in a second. So, oh man, we can't do. Oh shoot, I got a little ahead of myself. We'll have to do this for now. So, laying the houses down. So we saw a kilometer. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can well, if you guys ever played Assassin's Creed Origins, that reconstruction of Egypt was fantastic. Fantastic. Love the game. And what's funny is that Egyptologist, my Egyptologist friends, my other Egyptologist friends, love playing it. I was at a conference in DC for ARCY, which is, it's like Society for Biblical Literature, but for Egyptologists. And after a day of listening to lectures all day, we went back to this guy's Airbnb, and we just talked about literally Assassin's Creed Origins. No, we talked about other stuff, but mainly the topic was the game and how fantastic the game it was. And it was so much better than Odyssey, and I think Odyssey came out at that time, and we're like, what I think he said, one of them said, "Oh, I played once I beat Origins, I went to Odyssey, and I got like, I didn't even finish the prologue to Odyssey, and then I went back to Origins and started playing Origins again, just because he loved it." So, yeah, I forgot to put down water. Oops. So we'll put down water, this. So you make sure you always put down your, like, all this stuff. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. And we'll go ahead and do this. And then we want to do... What I normally do in this situation is put down 2 bazaars because, again, this is a larger area. There we go. And a festival square, which we will put... Yay, 500. There we go. I think that's good. Is that good? Should be good. Yeah, there we go. And now we can do festivals. We do Raw first because, and we do, I usually like to do the more fancy festivals. And then get down. Yeah, Origins is fantastic. Odyssey's a fantastic game. It really is. It's just not Egypt. That's my only complaint. Other than the open worlds. And then you get to Valhalla, and I didn't really... I like Valhalla, but again, it's not the ancient world. It's after Rome fell, and it's not the ancient world anymore, you know? So... we'll do a shrine to Ra, I guess. And we will beautify this stuff with some gardens. And Lavish Festival. Excellent, let me get that next festival going here. Can I do it? Yeah. We will do Bass. Let's do a common. Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. Like, VR? Are you kidding me? That would be fantastic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, let me put a roadblock in. And we gotta put down some... work camp, and then we can put down some food. Yeah, grand. See, increases your increases your reputation here. They are. I love my Stream Deck. I'm so happy my wife introduced me to that Stream Deck. I love it. Love it. I wanted to add the voices to it. Like, if you watch some other YouTubers, I'm sure, well, we're all on YouTube, but if you watch some of the other YouTubers, they can click button and there's this, like, a movie quote or something. I want to add those to the Stream Deck. I gotta figure out how. I'm still, like, this is all a learning experience, too, because I was very, like, academic and not at all. See, yes! Yes! Now we're thinking. Pure optimism. Yes. Absolutely. Take everyone off. Yeah. Implement that later in the game with Tut. I don't know where to put you. We will put you here, Granary. They may not like it, but we'll do that. So... Oh, wait, I was adding... There we go. So... Yeah, definitely. That would be cool. So Hierakonpolis, like I said, or Nechen, is in the, it's in Upper Egypt. It's further south than Nakada. This is where we think, like, you start, like, the Nakada culture is starting to take over. Now, hypothetically, we think that, when Egypt was unified, it was from Upper Egypt conquering Lower Egypt and unifying it. So I think they introduced Narmer here, which, funny, his name isn't a warrior name, it means catfish. There are some other other meanings to his name, we think, but catfish is one that stands out right now. And that's not very menacing, in my opinion. It's kind of funny. Oh no, we were conquered by catfish. So, but he did unite most of Egypt, if not all, we're not sure. We think he existed because of the Narmer palette. So, which is more than what Menes, which we think is a fictitious character. So, Narmer. Yeah, catfish. Ooh. We should ask Falk next Friday about Narmer and the meaning of it, because he probably has more info on it. That'd be hilarious. I want to see that. Alright, we got that. And let's go for one for Raid. Common Festival. There we go. Let me see here. Did I get 4, 6? Yeah, we're good. Oh, wait. Did I get... Oh, shoot. I didn't get Osiris. Benevolent. Okay, good. He's benevolent. Raid was our patron deity. Yeah. So, like the next king they talk about when we, you get to build Memphis, and in Egyptian, Memphis was called Ineb Hedge, and it was white wall, because it had white walls surrounding the city, and that's what the Egyptians called it, and it became the administrative capital. But his name, Hor-Aha, means Horus who fights, or Horus who contends, which is a much more warrior-like name if you look at it. It's so much better than catfish. Oh no, I wanted that. Plazas. How much money? We got 5. Okay, we're good. Alright, I should probably build a... yeah, we're gonna build a palace now and do taxes. Everyone's favorite, because we love paying taxes. This one you have to build on grassy land. So I'll probably build it here, and then we can build, oh, more entertainment. So sophisticated Egyptians like to listen to music in their leisure time, as well as taking the occasional juggling performance. While only jugglers can perform at a small booth, both jugglers and musicians can perform at a bandstand. Build a bandstand at an intersection and a conservatory nearby to train musicians. Access to multiple types of entertainment greatly enhances the quality of life in any city. So, back in the day when I played this bandstand, I always laughed at it because I always think of a rock concert. So you got like Red Hot Chili Peppers or some band up there just jamming away at the street corner. Beer and barley farming. So your fellow Egyptians have perfected the art of brewing beer, which has become a very popular libation. And with a supply of barley received from local farmers or farms, brewers will make beer and deliver it to storage yards for future distribution by bazaar workers. So, we'll have to wait there. Don't worry about them. What is funny about this game? Yeah, yeah, American Bandstand. Absolutely. So, what is funny about this, too, is that... Have I not? Let's do Osiris. I thought I did one for Osiris. I guess I didn't. There we go. And then boss again in the circle. Is that the guys, if they're still in the water and the water recedes, or if the water flood happens, they just disappear. It's like they drown or something. I always thought that was funny. Finally I can build these guys. Got that. Got that. And then we're gonna build a bandstand here. Oh, I'm gonna have to take out something. These guys aren't gonna be happy. So, bandstand. Nope, that's a conservatory. I can't get them right. There we go. And we can put this back here. So we got a juggler school, do we? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And then we'll put a conservatory outside. They don't like listening to the music because they're learning music. So, but, yeah, American Bandstand, man. Taxes and courthouses. Here's another set of income for you guys. So a large city needs to bring in additional revenue beyond its initial funding. One way to accomplish this is through taxation. In order to levy taxes, your city will need a palace, which we've already built, and a tax collector. So we're going to put Matthew in here somewhere, I guess. Make sure to build enough tax collectors to cover the whole city, especially its more well-to-do neighborhoods. Remember, the better the quality of life enjoyed in a given home, the more taxes its occupants will pay. And a courthouse sends a magistrate to patrol the streets who helps reduce the risk of crime by hearing grievances and making sure cooler heads prevail. So we can do taxes now, which I think is in services. Yeah, there it is. And then we can build a courthouse, which I think I have to tear down. Yeah. Now that should work. There we go. Nope. Egypt's Got Talent. Yes! It was Simon Caldwell. Blessing from Bass. Yeah, see, she blesses your homes with food and stuff. That is like the best. There we go. Appointed tax collector instant. So. Ah, man. Okay. Wait, I forgot. No. I forgot which. Not that. Oh, another cool feature I forgot to stumble on is the encyclopedia. So when you're playing the game and you find something fascinating or want to learn more, they've got this encyclopedia feature that you can go down. It's listed alphabetically of like temples and monuments and cities and stuff. You can learn more about Egypt on your own that way, which I thought was awesome. So oh noes! Bast. We need a festival for Bast. So, oh yeah, did I zoom in on Ray's temple? So I showed you Osiris there last time. Oh, we can't see it. Ray here, if you could see the glyphs down here behind the courthouse, that's the actual hieroglyph symbols for Ray or Ra in Egyptian. So I wish you can't rotate anymore. You can't rotate the city or like the map to see more of the city. So it kind of stinks. So I can't show you Basts. It's blocked. So, but oh, okay, yeah, I can't do Throw Festival yet. So, oh, that's right. I need beer for victory conditions. I forgot. So here, and then barley. One should be enough. So then we can do brewer. Probably do it over here. Oh, that's a potter. There's a brewery. Oops. There we go. No, I'm not there. Yeah, we'll do there. And then there we go. And then we need the architect's post and firehouse, and we probably need a police. And did we get one there? Yeah, we did get one there. Okay. You got to be sure to do the architect's post and firehouses, because if you don't, disaster will ensue. And it's fire spread in the game too. So if one building catches fire, that increases the chances for the building adjacent to it to catch fire, and so on and so forth. And then you have this chaos, and it exacerbates the whole problem. And yeah. Oh, you don't have access to a road. There you go. And I should probably, yeah, accept none. Barley. And then here, accept none. Beer. So there we go. So now we wait. These should be victory conditions after this, and then I'll probably stop because it's getting late. Lavish. So, but yeah. The next map, you actually get to start making monuments, mastabas. And then the pyramids, which we all know was made by aliens. I mean, the evidence is there. Yes, I am. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Yeah, it's 11:30 here. So it's 11:30. I usually start later because one, I'm a night owl, Virginia. I'm a night owl for one, and two, my wife works from home, and she works from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., so I can't even do anything until after 8. So that's why this started later than normal. Plus, we were still working out some kinks before I started, but it's all under control now, which is cool. Got enough food there, the barley. So those other guys up there in the plane have straw, and I don't have any storage yards accepting straw. But yeah, that's why I always start late for these. That's why my weekly videos are at 9 or something like that. My shorts, I have a little more control of the shorts because, you know, they're on your phone. So that's why the shorts come out earlier. That should do it. We got the beer. Oh, we don't have enough. The barley did not yield enough. The barley field didn't yield enough. Cyrus. Yeah, those aliens, man. Those aliens. I don't even get it. Yes. The background music should have it should be a soundtrack, like the soundtrack, they should sell that. Or we should be able to download it, you know, for a price, of course, but absolutely. Yep. That's why last night I was like, it's 12:30. Good night, folks. West Coast. West Coast. Yeah, he's in, where is he? Vancouver, I think? I think he's in Vancouver. Yes, yeah, Stargate's yeah, definitely, Jack. Stargate 1 was an awesome movie. They did hire an Egyptologist for the Egyptian in there, Stuart Tyson Smith. I actually had dinner with him at one of the Egyptology conferences in Tucson a few years ago. He's at, I don't know if he's retired now. He was teaching at UCLA. And he gets asked that he was free. I remember that he was fresh out of, he had just got his PhD. And then that was his first job, was on set helping them make Stargate. So there we go. We're just waiting for the beer production, and we might have to wait for another season, and then that should end it, because I don't think we're going to get enough. Yeah, they only produced one keg of beer there. It's been so long since I've seen Stargate, though. So long. Let's add some more desirability. So these statues, maybe I didn't get to... So, here's a medium-sized statue. Maybe I can do a large... Is this... Yeah, this one. No, not that one. You got this one of a guy, I guess, I don't know what he's doing, kneeling down. You get the ram, which it's pretty cool. If you can do the desirability, yeah, perfect inundation, excellent. I'm going to do this though. Put him there. And we'll put him there. Actually, I should have rotated that. So rotate. There we go. Oh, we got the brewery. There we go. So. Yeah, unemployment. So. More desirability. That's a good question. I don't know where he's from. You can always tell the East Coast people because they're always in bed like an hour into his stream and stuff. Like when I ask questions, I like hope that he gets to mine before I go to bed, because then I have, you know. Do I not have these guys set to? Oh, you're central. Okay. Set to buy beer. I don't know why they're not buying beer. Is there a demand for it? Oh crap, I forgot pottery, guys. Oh my gosh, I swear I'm a veteran. I swear I'm a veteran. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's a fundamental mistake. Oh yeah, and I forgot roadblocks here. Beer without. I don't. Jeez, I've played it before. I've played it before. I cannot believe that I forgot to give him pottery. That's crazy. Did I get that? Yeah. Okay, we're good there. Now we should win it soon. Oh my word. Nope, you guys are not. I'm not accepting straw, bro. Festival again. Looks like Bast. So we'll do Bast, Common. There we go. Ray is displeased. We will add shrines to please you. That should do it. Let's get the pottery going. Okay, yeah, they're producing. One thing they lacked here is the animations for the potter. In the old game, they had an animation for the potter there and the clay pit, and now they don't have it. Kind of wish they included it this time, because you get the animations for them brewing beer, and you get the animation for the granary, the conservatory, the juggler, all these things, the bazaar and stuff. Why not have one for the potter and the clay pit? Ooh. So I hope that's something that they introduce in a patch. Oh. Too funny. I can't believe I forgot the pottery. I have failed you guys. There we are. There's some pottery. So that should be.
I see job vacancies everywhere. I wonder if I could juggle more than one job.
Yes, they talk to you. It's pretty cool. You can interact with your citizens. They can tell you, you know, what is going on, what they like about the city, what they dislike about the city, what the city needs, what the city doesn't need. So that's pretty cool. Well, come on. Yep, pottery's working. I did not. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Oh, that's why. There we go. That should do it. Yeah, there she just got some pottery, so we're good now. Everything is good. Crisis avoided. Crisis avoided. Oh yeah, another thing they introduced is pickers. So sometimes you want to place a building that you can already see on screen. Instead of going through the construction menu, you can simply copy and paste with the building picker. So control click on the building and voila, you can now place it wherever you want. That's a new feature with this game that they didn't have in the old game. You used to have to go through the construction menu all the time. So, and then you get the mansion and personal salary, so you can build yourself your own mansion and draw a salary. Which is pretty cool. You can also, it allows you to also give gifts to the city, or to Egypt as a whole. So that's pretty cool, and I think it's got to be built on brass. And we can now do water crossings. We can't do it here. I mean, we can do it here, but there's no need to do it here. But in future maps, you can build water crossings at narrow waterways and stuff, so that'll come in handy too in 2 or 3 maps. So, what did I want to do? I wanted to do something here and I forgot. Nope, there we go. Didn't have to do it.
Well done. Thanks to your capable leadership, Egyptian civilization has advanced considerably and will continue to do so in the coming decades.
Alright, guys. Yeah, the next is going to be Mennefer of Memphis. I'm actually going to end the stream here because it's late on the East Coast. It's getting late on the East Coast, if not already. Thank you guys for coming. I enjoyed it. This is probably one of my favorite games ever on the computer that I could play all the time. So maybe I'll probably do this again next Saturday night, hopefully earlier and not later, since we got everything worked out. But yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for coming, and have a great weekend, guys.